To think about the style guide that you're using for your app and how that style guide will be applied in your wireframe. So again, this is a bit of a review for some of you, but all apps, all websites are generally have some sort of style guide with them, so that it creates continuity with each page and consistency throughout the entire experience. So you might already have a logo that you want to include in your style guide that is both reversed, full color, black and white, as well as some smaller icons that typically are used in apps because the screen is very small and you want to utilize as much of the screen as possible. So in an app, most likely this website would use the icon variations there at the bottom. And then, of course, some fonts and then the weights. So another thing to consider is that mobile devices are much smaller than computer screens, and therefore sometimes you want to have lots of options in terms of weights for your fonts, and so that it can show up pretty well in front of an image, etc. And then, of course, colors. So a lot of times the colors go along with your logo. You can see this green matches the green in the logos. You can include normal colors, neutral colors like black and gray, and then a lot of times there is at least one accent color, which in this case is blue and could represent some action items. Here's another example. So when you're creating your style guide for your app, you can create this in InDesign. I recommend either InDesign or XD if you want to get some more practice in XD. And consider having values of colors and some more specific style guide representations, like this layout here where it says Bootstrap layout. And then you don't have to necessarily go with just two colors or one color or just one font. You can see here Airbnb's style guide is quite extensive. It has many colors. And then also avoid taking the brand and doing something really strange with it, like adding a very detailed picture behind the logo, or making it crooked or stretched, or with a awkward drop shadow. So usually this minimal is best. And then also consider whenever you're working on an app for another project, consider how that app will also look as a website. Generally, most designers will create the website first because it's the largest, and then the app is a more minimal version of the website, or a more useful version, say in a situation where you're designing for, say, Uber or Lyft. Those apps are obviously more important than the website, but how does the website and the app work together? And also think about all of the variations of your app. If you're designing for a university, a lot of times there are specific expectations for things like the seal is only used for academic purposes, whereas other parts of the brand are only used for athletic purposes. So really understanding the company and the organization you're working for or in designing for.